Hi, Gary Chillingworth here for Airgun World Magazine, Shooting and Country TV. Welcome to Life at the Range. This is video number 3. The first time we filmed it, the camera down there didn't work. The second time we filmed it, the sound didn't work. So this is number 3, and if this doesn't work, the camera is going into the pond. And today's video is all about things that can make you shoot badly. Filming being bloody one of them. Okay, so today's video, what is it about? What it's about is you've practiced, you've done everything that you need to do to go to a comp, you're shooting well, and then everything goes to crap. You can't hit a barn door from 20 paces away. The week before you could have pointed the gun backwards and the target would have fallen over. But today, no matter what you do, those targets are not falling, and we're going to look into a few reasons why. Now, usually I say at this point, oh, it's because somebody's written in and asked. Well, I've written in and asked because at the moment my shooting goes from shooting at Misfits, where I shot a 53 and equaled Brett Holloway and have managed to take first place, to shooting at Maze last weekend, where I had one of the worst shoots I've ever had in my life. So I want to build a bit of consistency. Before we get into all of that, we're going to do some shooting. We've got a target set out of 40 yards, and let's see how everything goes. Now, the first thing you need to do before you do anything else is, if you've had a bad day, you need to just check the basics. If you've got a PCP, which I don't at the moment, I should have brought a PCP out, but I'm an idiot, and it's got an air gauge on the bottom, check that you've got air. Now, air gauges, manometers on rifles, they're usually pretty good, but they can be wrong. We had a case a while back where a guy was filling it up to 180, and 10 or 20 shots, everything was going high, and then it would come back on song. Then when we filled it with the bottle, we compared the gauge on the gun to the gauge on the bottle. The bottle was saying 210, the rifle was saying 180. He was filling his gun to 210 bar. It was an unregulated rifle. That is why everything was going wrong. So when you fill, check the gauge on your gun and the gauge on the bottle, because the bottle gauge might be wrong, the gun gauge might be wrong, but if they're both saying 180, you should be okay. Right, now this is a cold-ish rifle, and we're going to put our first shot down as if we've come straight out the bag, and let's see how we go. 40 yards, number 3, top line, correct aim point. Okay, so fractionally high, fractionally right. As you can hear, lots of wind going left to right. So let's do another one of those. I'm testing to see whether or not the gun is correct. If I've had a bad shoot, I'm praying that it's not. Okay, so I know this rifle takes about 3 shots for all the lubrication on the inside to warm up a bit, and then it comes on song. So this shot should hopefully be at the same level as the dot I'm aiming at. It's still going to be affected by wind. And there you go. I think it dropped a little bit lower, but that is well within parameters. So that's the first thing we've done. After a bad shoot, we've checked the rifle, and we know now that the rifle is good. But if it wasn't, what are the things that we need to check? Well, as I said, we've checked air. The next thing is we need to check pellets. Now, these are my JSB, well, these aren't my JSBs, they're just an old set of JSBs. And these are the pellets that I use and that I love. Well, what I did is I swapped these set of JSBs for this other tin. of JSBs that I've got sitting down here that my microphone is sitting on top of. They're the identical pellets, 452s, 844 grain, except on the back these are die 54s and the dies that I shot at the comp are die 56s. Same pellet, everything's the same weight, doesn't mean they're the same pellet. Even if they're all die 54s and all of these numbers on the back are identical, if you swap between tins, always recheck your zero, because sometimes they just don't, they're just not the same. But let's assume that all your pellets, you'd already started a set of tin of pellets and everything was good and you were using those pellets at the comp. Well, the next thing, you look at this gun, we've got an adjustable cheek piece on the rear. If this drops for any reason, even by ½ an inch, you're now looking through the scope in a slightly different position. And that will again massively affect you know, your shots down range, because your head is in a different position looking through the scope. Now I know that that is 1.5 inches and that is 1.5 inches. I've got 2 datum points where I measure and I check to make sure that it's correct. Some people will put a tube or something like that under, you know, in there to stop the gun, sorry, to stop the cheek piece from dropping. So you need to check to make sure that your cheek piece is exactly where it should be. So if your pellets are the same, if your cheek piece is the same and you're still having problems, now check other basic stuff. You've got your stock bolts at the front and at the back. On spring guns, this can be a real big issue. If these come loose, if this comes loose, things start to move around and it's not as good. I carry a silencer. Has that come loose? Might be worth Loctiting it on. Make sure that that doesn't move. As you can see, I've got a wind indicator, and there's been occasions where I've put these in the bag, it's knocked it as it's come down, knocked it up, and it's come loose. And then you're going to get clipping. You see how much that's moving? It's all right, we'll move a 1/4 turn, and then look how much that moves from just a 1/4 turn. Tight, not moving, that is going to cause you to miss. So make sure that everything is right and tight and where it should be. Right, let's fire another couple of shots. Okay, we'll go top line, pellet, just second pellet along. Still fractionally high. But let's say everything now still isn't working correctly. Now, luckily, this is an MTC Connect, absolutely cracking scope, and I've got turret caps. However, some scopes, like the Vortex Viper, has got exposed turrets. So check to make sure that all your turrets haven't been spun around. I've got marks on these, so I know that when the arrow points at the mark, I know that it's exactly on. It's sort of like you're zeroing your scope. A lot of these you can unscrew them and just twist the caps around so that you can go 0 to the mark and 0 to the mark. So if it gets spun around, you know that something has happened to the scope. So obviously check, make sure that your elevation is correct, and sorry, your windage is correct, your elevation is correct. And if everything is still wrong, now check the scope. Are all of the mount screws done up? The ones on the side, are they all done up? Is everything on nice and tight? I know it sounds simple, but again, we've had it and people just assume that it's been tightened once. Certainly with spring guns, they shake about a bit and things work themselves loose. So make sure that everything is right and tight. Right, so now let's shoot the gun. Still top line. I'm praying that everything is recording down there, otherwise I'm going to cry. Right, so we're going third one along underneath the bulldog clip. Okay, so pulled it slightly left. I wasn't aiming left. Interesting. And that's the other thing. Distraction, that can cause you to miss. Are you having a chat with your mates? Are you filming a video? And I think that's a lot of my problems when I shoot in competition. I'm thinking about taking photographs, I'm thinking about filming, I've got a myriad of other things to do, and I'm not concentrating on my shooting. If you're having a laugh with your mates, sometimes you get down and you go, get down and shoot, bang, you've missed, you've lost the point. That could cost you a championship. So you need to have a good, as you approach the peg, you need to be able to get into a cycle. One of the best I've ever seen at this is Neil Palmer and James McLachlan, 2 world champions. You can stand back from the line and have a laugh and a joke, and it's absolutely great. But when they start to approach the peg, they like get into a zone, and they've got a routine, and they get down and everything is specific on what they do, and that is why they kill targets. When you've had a bad day and you've come on the range, the first thing in your head is, please Lord, let the gun be wrong. We all pray for it, because if the gun is wrong, it's not us. 9 times out of 10 it is us. We go out there and shoot, and the week before we've done really well, and now we're doing really badly. But the question is, have you changed the type of course that you're shooting on? I shot at Misfits. Very relatively low wind, nice open course, lots of light. Sorry, not Misfits. Wormsley, where I won second round of the UK HFTs. It was a relatively open event. Brain not working today. It's the 3rd time I've done this. Wormsley, there was lots of light. Everything was really, really good. And then when I went to Mo Nomads for the recoiling championships, I had the scope set up to work on blur and head bob. And when we went into the dark woods at Nomads, and it was an amazing event and a brilliant course, I really struggled with seeing the kill zones of the targets when it was really, really dark. Now, I could have set up the scope differently and that wouldn't have made an issue, but I didn't think about where I was shooting, so it was my mistake. Then when we went to the Welsh Open at Nelson, which was one of the best events I've been to in yonks, again, it was very bright, very light, and everything worked perfectly for what I wanted, and I managed to come second. I think it was beaten by Brett both days. I'm going to have that man take it out, but I couldn't do it, I'd miss. What was I saying? Yes, so you're praying that the gun is off, but sometimes it's just poor setup. We haven't thought about what we're doing, we haven't thought about where we're going, and sometimes you can just have a bad day. I've had it where I can point the gun in that direction and the target will still fall over. But I've had other days where no matter what I do, everything was a split. And that's the other thing. Today's windy. Now, a friend of mine, Ben, who's an absolutely brilliant shooter, UK HFT champion, he said a while back, he never aims outside of a kill until the course tells him to. How many times have we shot courses and people have said, if I just aimed at everything, I'd have knocked a lot more down? And that is certainly true. I know at Nelson for the Welsh Masters, I missed 4 targets because I aimed outside the kill, only by a pellet width, and the thing went straight. Aim inside the kill until you start missing out the other side, and I think you'll kill a lot more targets. Now, brain of a goldfish, just let me check this. Right. Okay, let's have another shot. We go to next row down. So 40 yards, in wind. This gun is stupidly accurate. Oh, I think that went dead. Either I missed it completely or that absolutely keyholed the thing, which is good. Love this gun. So you've turned up, and again, everything's not working. Why? The gun is perfect. You know the gun is perfect. You've been on the range and the gun is perfect. My mate Alex has told me that he's noticed that when we go away and we shoot, if I've had a long 2 or 3 hour drive, everything goes to pot. I do badly. I'm tired, my eyes are tired, everything about me is tired. Now you can get round that, because if you're driving on a motorway for many hours and you're fixating like a quarter of a mile down the road, you know, which is what you should be doing, your eyes sort of get locked into that kind of, you know, looking at that kind of distance. So then when you try and range find at short distance, nothing works so well. You can use eye drops, they help reset your eyes. A good thing is when you get back to, you know, when you're in the car before the shoot, sit down for 10 or 15 minutes with your eyes shut, and that again, that will help reset your eyes. Have you taken your medication? Now I've got slightly high blood pressure for being a fat old git. If I take my blood pressure medication, is it a good idea to shoot within say half an hour of it? Do I need to wait a couple of hours? Right, let's see if we can do another good shot. So second line down, 40 yards, 3 rounds, rapid fire. Another good shot. Are you dehydrated? Dehydration can massively affect the way you shoot. It can make you not think straight, it can make your eyes not work for range finding, and it can just make you tired. 2% dehydration and your muscles start not working properly. People say, oh, don't drink coffee and tea, it's a diuretic. Yes it is, but only by about 5%. So if you drink say a litre of water, you'll get a litre's worth of hydration. If you drink a litre of coffee, not that I'd recommend it, you'll get 950 millilitres of hydration. So coffee is better than nothing, water is better than everything, water with electrolytes is even better. Basically you just need to take liquids on board, and you also need to feed yourself. But if you're someone who's diabetic or has got medical issues and you're sticking a bacon roll down your throat which has got white bread in it, that will spike your blood sugar, and spiking your blood sugar, that will make you miss. Okay, let's have a look, let's see what we can do. We're having a good line so far. Right, so second line down, third dots. Oh, another good shot. Well happy with that. So, here we are. We've gone through the gun is good, we've had a good day. We've looked at our hydration, we've looked at everything, we looked at all the reasons. Maybe the cool setter just beat us. Maybe the cool setter just put on such a good course, it didn't suit the way we shot, and the cool setter just had a good day and we had a bad one. Don't look at the people banging in 58s and 59s. Look at the people that you regularly shoot against. Are you regularly beating them? I look at people like Steve Whiting and Brett Holloway. As far as I'm concerned, those two guys are the gold standard of spring gun shooting. I think I used to be as good as them. I'm not quite as good now, whether it be the injury, lack of practice, whatever, but I consider them to be a couple of points above me. If I can stay within a couple of points of people like Brett and Steve, I consider that a good day shooting. I don't care if I go onto a course and Neil Palmer bangs in a 59 because he shoots a PCP, I shoot a Springer. If Brett's come in with a 51 and I've come in with a 50, I consider that, okay, I've had a good day because I'm within a point of Brett. My aim is to beat him and to beat Steve, but they're both great shots. When you're shooting up like that with a spring gun and it's recoiling into the ground, it's much harder than shooting a PCP. So you do not judge yourself against PCP shooters. And I know I'm the worst for that because I have a tendency to try and do that. I always want to beat my mates Alex and Jeff. But be realistic. Be realistic and see who you're shooting against. But don't beat yourself up about it. You know, you're going to have bad days. You know, I've been getting really quite low about my shooting recently. And I've decided that I'm going to go back to basics. I think I overthink a lot of stuff. I think I get a lot of things wrong. And I think that maybe because I've been doing this so long, maybe I've got a little bit arrogant with my own knowledge. So maybe I need to take a step back and think, let's go back to basics. Setting out targets of 30 yards and just trying to drill points. Trying to make the gun fail. If I know that I can slap the gun about, you know, if I can slap that, let's give it a bang. So I'm assuming that it's getting hit in the car. Do you know what? If this now goes like an inch to the right, I'm going to be validated for all the shots I've missed. But I fully expect this to be absolutely bang on. So here we go. I've slapped it about. Right, okay. One thing doesn't prove a point. Okay, so that shot went high. Next one went bang on. So let's have another look. Let's put another one down. Sorry, just talk amongst yourselves. This is something that I'm just okay, so what happened there? I think what happened there is I was chatting to you, I got on the gun, I didn't really think I was doing, and it went high. I don't think slapping it about like I did affected it at all. I think that was me. I wish the next 3 or 4 had gone, or the next 2 had gone high as well, because I'd have gone, hey, maybe I don't suck, maybe it is the gun, but I don't think it's the gun, I just think it's me who's an idiot. But the fact is, and this is well worth doing, slap your gun about a bit, give the scope a slap. Move it about, bang it about, obviously without damaging it. Because if you know that giving the gun a good old slap isn't going to affect the way it shoots, then when you've got to a gun club, you're shooting a competition, and you get the gun out, and you go on the range, and the pellets are going left by an inch, you go, well, it's not the gun, because I slapped the gun about, and it's just been sitting in the car on the journey here. It's probably there's wind out there that I can't see. So it's well worth doing. Try and abuse your gun a little bit and see what you have to do before things start to move. Don't go mental, don't go hitting it with hammers and things like that. Don't send me the bill. But just do what I did. Give the silencer a slap. Tell you what, last shot, let's just loosen that silencer off a little bit. And let's just see what that will do to a shot. As you can see, so it's just a little bit loose. It's only not even a quarter of a turn. It'll probably go straight. Okay, I didn't actually see where that went. Alright, let's do another one. I might have gone through the same hole, but I've got very bad eyes and I'm old. Right, I'm going to aim an inch to the right hand side of the right, second row down, last last mark, and I'm going an inch to the right of it. Okay, that isn't even hitting on the paper. We'll just move it back. So a silencer just coming loose, you see how much damage that will do. Okay, inch to the right, and that's exactly where I was aiming. I hope today's video has been useful, and I pray to the Lord that this time it's worked, because otherwise I am going to go for a cry. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all again on the range very, very soon. Ta-da!